Here in this vlog, I'd like to do some self-forgiveness for accepting and allowing myself to call myself within, based on what I have created within my mind, to call myself a captain. So looking back within and as my life, I believed and perceived myself to be a captain of a particular specific group of imaginary individuals, basically. If we have a look at our mind, our entire mind is in fact imaginary from the perspective that what it is within our mind cannot be dissected, and so therefore that which exists within the mind can in fact be categorized as imaginary, which includes the thoughts, imaginations, internal dialogues, and emotions and feelings. And so with that, the imaginary friends would be the particular specific thoughts that I formed and created a relationship to, and with that relationship created a characterization of that thoughts, as if that particular specific thoughts would be communicating with me. And so we have to understand that each and every one of us do communicate with ourselves. So there is in fact an imaginary friend that is created from the perspective that we do talk to ourselves. But this friend is not particularly energized from the perspective that we don't see it separate from us. What I in fact done in my world in reality is I saw, well, I not literally saw, but I saw my imagination, or perceived my imagination as my internal dialogues separate from me, and I did this on purpose in order to communicate with myself from the perspective of me believing that I am actually communicating with someone separate, and this created the perception or capacity of a mind wisdom from the perspective that, you get to see things from different perspectives of yourself. But this is in fact a mind wisdom, because why would I need to separate myself from myself in order to learn, in order to grow, when in fact it is simply me communicating with myself the knowledge and information that I already know within myself, but that I have not accepted as myself. And so therefore I created an imaginary entity in order to give me the illusion of wisdom within myself, when in fact that illusion of wisdom was in fact me that separated myself from my own wisdom. And so I did not live that wisdom as myself, but I lived it based on what my quote unquote imaginary friend knew that I thought they knew more than me because, you know, I acquired all of this wisdom within myself. But it is not really an acquisition of wisdom. It is simply me relaying that own wisdom or that own knowledge and information about things within this world to myself. So it's really a point of self-deception. And so it is to, in fact, it is for me to, in fact, come to an equal and one relationship to my own knowledge and information and wisdom thereof, of who I am in relation to this world and reality. And when and as I speak of wisdom, I speak of simply an awareness, having an awareness to do what is necessary to be done. So the more I walk this process of seeing, realizing, and understanding my mind, and stopping participation in that which to that which has become a slave of energy, you know, then I will in fact grow and develop in awareness. And what I mean by a slave to energy is simply a slave to the reactions of the mind, a slave to the reactive mind that manifests or is expressed through and within emotions and feelings. So I see, realize, and understand that it is for me to, instead of accepting and allowing myself to speak and communicate with myself in separation within my mind as characterizations of internal dialogues, it is for me to simply be the dialogue of and as myself, to speak as myself, to direct me, instead of separating myself into different entities and personalities, and thus within that creating and perpetuating uncertainty about my position within this world and my responsibilities. And so that would be a great commitment, but what I will in fact do within the next blog is a process of having a look at the points within a form of self-forgiveness, because within self-forgiveness it is a point of releasing oneself through declaration that I am releasing myself from this particular specific point. And within releasing there is also realization and new perspectives. But these realizations and perspectives are in fact coming from one's own self-directive stance in doing and speaking self-forgiveness as self, not as someone else within it, as the mind. Alright, thank you.